Real water. He said, "Hey, is that devil's juice, brother? I seen that."
I wish I was 40. I wish I was wow.
Yo, hey, thank y'all for coming back. Turfn Talks podcast. You got me, Raw Neck. I got to show the sign. I got to show what I do. You got Seuss here, L with the
Ariel.
wing.
You.
Hey, and we got a very special guest. This is our first non-turf dancer. We love to keep the dancers going, but man, we got a legend in the building right here. Mr. Quiet Storm.
Man.
Quiet Storm. I don't even want to. There's so much I could say, but I don't want to take up the time. Suits, bro. Can we give him like a 2-second introduction? Tell him who this person is right here that we're blessed with.
Man.
So we with my brother Storm, Quiet Storm from New York.
Yes, sir.
The brother is amazing. He has came out from New York. He's one of the old school originals. You know how in turf dance we got our originals. So he does Bruck Up. Bruck Up was out before flexing and bone breaking and all of that. So he has the original style.
Yeah.
We honored to have him on the show today. We really want to get the backstory, you know what I mean? Because we're not from New York. So just kind of like what the culture was like growing up into it, how things were when they changed, and how did you keep your original style, stuff like that.
Yeah, we're gonna let me tell the people, let me give them a PSA why they might think it, oh, it's Turfn Talks. No, Turfn, anybody that's from the struggle, that's for the turf, you're willing to come up here and talk. We love to promote our dancers, turf dance culture, Buck Up, whatever it is, crumping, anybody that's in the political scene or culture, it does not matter. And we love to have these legends here. So without further ado, we got Storm. So as we always start off with all our guests, Storm, tell us where you're from specifically, because he said New York, so I'm gonna let you get into that, exactly where you're from. And the first question we ask everybody is, how did you start dancing in general? Not even your specific style, but when is the first time you remember busting a move? How did you even come into it?
Yo, thank y'all, man. First of all, thank y'all, man, for having me up here. Shout out to Turfn. Shout out to my family, Neil, Zeus, everybody on that side. Yo, and we lost a big one recently. Neem, you know what I mean? Much strength and love to the family and everybody who knew him. He one of the ones who was out there when I came out there for the first time, you know what I mean, California. Like when I was first, that was like 2016. So I just want to thank y'all for coming up here and show my love and support for everybody in the turfing game. Yeah, thanks for having me. To God be all the glory. All the things that you guys said about me was beautiful. I appreciate it. First and foremost, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, Bed-Stuy, do or die. The home of where it happened. You know what I mean? We call it Bed-Stuy, do or die.
Bed-Stuy, is that Biggie? Biggie from Bed-Stuy?
Yeah.
Okay. You know?
And then look, Jay lived in the back of my projects, Jay-Z. So he lived in Marcy. I grew up in Tompkins. So yeah.
So distance wise, compare it. Like, give us somebody who hasn't been in New York. Give us like where is that versus where is that?
What Marcy and Tompkins?
Yeah.
So if Marcy was the back of the projects, so I was the front of the project, so that's like across the street, down the block and across the street.
Right.
So that's where Marcy was.
It's like 8 miles. Right.
Yeah, a New York block it's like a Hollywood block, to be honest.
Yeah,
when I go down to Hollywood Stars, like that's how the blocks be. So that's where I grew up at. How I started dancing. First of all, I saw a lot of dancers doing some amazing movements at Broadway Junction. That's the place where all the different trains come in, the L train, the J train, the A train, all those trains, and we'll be at the top and you'll see dancers from all different dance styles. The poppers will come through there, you know what I mean? The Brook Up dancers will come through there, you know what I mean? So that's where I saw the dance originally. So I saw the dance, and then I went to the center and I met Conqueror from BSV, and he really brought me into the style, and then he introduced me to Ghost and things like that, and I was in Tompkins. There were some flex dancers also, and they introduced me to Flex in Brooklyn, the show that used to air on TV on BCAT, Brooklyn Community Access Television. Where you seen, what is this, America's Best Dance Crew? You saw the Ringmasters up there, and Lil Mama was talking about BCAT when she was talking about them and she was crying and all that. But that's the TV show that a lot of us used to watch.
But you said it was called Flex in Brooklyn. So to give it just some like clarity. So was it was called Bruck Up when you was doing it, or was it always Flex? How was the show called Flex in Brooklyn and then y'all call there's Flexing style? Like how does that
So
interact?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Was first. The show was called Flexing Brooklyn. The name from Flexing came from the show Flexing Brooklyn. You know what I mean? So when people used to talk about it, same way I got my name. You know what I mean? Like Quiet Storm. They said, yo, he don't say nothing. He just go off. He just get on the dance floor and go off. It's like, yo, like your name should be Quiet Storm. You know, Conqueror, coined that name and it just stuck with the people and stuff like that. So I think it's best when the people give the name. The people's like, oh, that's Flexing Brooklyn. Just like when I did the Street Sweeper, the move is called the Street Sweeper. When I did the wave with my back and reversed it, they was like, you
Yeah,
just
you
reversed the
do the reverse
rage.
hold. That's one of my favorite moves you do,
Yeah,
bro. A
Yeah, that was
lot.
hard.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I appreciate that. But Reg actually showed me that. Reg actually showed me that move before my battle at the first King of the Streets on Battlefest. So he showed me that. I reversed it, you know what I mean, in the heat of the moment, like freestyling. So I didn't even know, that was a thing. Yeah. So they said he reversed the rage. So the audience called it the rage, but Ring was really saying the reg. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't know that. Yeah. They were saying the reg.
This is
That's
Red
crazy.
Rock, or what was his name?
Yeah, OG Red Rock.
So let's talk about that real quick. You named two OGs, right? And I love this. I love when people from their culture. That's why we ask the beginning questions because it's always somebody that you pull out that you don't know of. You said Conquer and you
Yeah.
said Red. In your world, who are they? Who are they in your world? Let's tell the people.
So Conqueror is like this mysterious character, you know what I mean? He's like a big block party guy, and a block party is like when people close off both sides of the street, so cars can't come through there, but you could party on the whole block. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like on all sides, and he would play Michael Jackson out there, but he's also known for throwing fire, like throwing fireballs out his hand and stuff like that. So he's this mysterious character. People thought he was a vampire and things like that. Like 3,000 years old. So it's plenty of legendary stories about Conqueror. Like he was a superhero. He would fight crime at night. You know what I mean? And it wasn't no fake stuff. It was real. So that was so amazing. So he trained me in like the battle style, the battle element of Brook Up. So that's who Conqueror was. And he created a team with a bunch of us. It was me, Conqueror Savage, this guy named Extraordinary Knowledge, and that was called Combined Elements. And he would bring us to Ghost, like Ghost was the Oracle, because I'm tall. Poba, BSV Poba. He linked me with him. He linked me with a bunch of the different dancers. He said, if you tall, you should link with somebody that's tall, and let them mentor you and train you and stuff like that. So that's why I went through the whole BSV. But at the same time, this is why I'm a hybrid in the dance style, because I became a brug up dancer and a flex dancer at the same time. So I met Reg and Reem and all of them, and they called themselves flexers. So and that's where you seen a few. It was a lot of fighting going back and forth because the flexing was against the Brookup, and Brookup was against flexing, saying whose style is original, whose style is more valid. This one evolved from that and things like that.
That's crazy. Dude, what does that sound like? What
That
does that
sounds like
sound like?
them.
Tell me right now.
That
That
sounds like
sounds
them.
like her. That
Again,
sounds like original Turf.
Now, what
So
you saying? So that's who Conqueror was. Conqueror was Brookup. Reg was flexing,
yeah.
and met Reg and Reem at the Crazy Eights. So I met them like, oh man, like 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Like it's been a long time. So at the beginning of it, when both sides was still hot, but Brookup was transitioning to flexing. When they was on Flexing Brooklyn, the show B
Mm-hmm.
Cat, when they was on the show, they were still doing Brookup. So it didn't become flexing yet. Like it was still getting popular. You know what I mean? Until like it got on TV and people started coming out and doing shows and things like that outside of the event, parties and things like that. So that's when it turned to flexing. Especially it stamped it for real when Ringmasters got on the
Yeah.
what is it? America's Best Dance Crew.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. So that's what. That's what changed it all. It's like when people say Michael Jackson, and this is my opinion. You know what I mean? I feel like I've been in here long enough to state my opinion. But my opinion is that just like people think Michael Jackson created the moonwalk, you know what I mean, is the same thing as flexing being first and things like that. It's who makes it mainstream, who televises it. Because if BSV would have been on TV in the same way, and Brooker would have been on TV in the same way, even though Brooker was shown, I think we got the same like forefather or the person that we look up to for inspiration was Mr. Brooker, who is George Adams. You know what I mean? When we seen him in the
Is that the guy that does the faces? I seen him. He had like
yeah,
blonde hair. You know.
hands where your eyes can see.
Yeah,
That music
yeah.
video. Yeah.
That's funny because Turf Dancing, my boy Price made up a move that we do called the Buster from the Buster
Yeah.
Lines. But it's funny that it was broke up dancers in that video. It's crazy. We was really developing kind of at the same time from coast to coast, but in the same like that way.
Yep.
That's raw.
Yep. And
That is
that's why a lot of times we had some feuds with y'all too, like saying like, oh, y'all biting off of us, and it will go back and forth like that because we was being inspired by the same people. You know what I mean? That's how the universe is, the multiverse is, you know what I'm saying? Like, two people can be in two different styles and two different places. We could come up with some of the same things, similar things, at the same time without even seeing each other. You know what I mean? And I don't think the world was ready for that until we got into the internet. We in a digital age right now, and now we know, you know what I mean, that like these things can happen. But before then, we was like, yo, how you doing my style? You know what I mean? Like that's from
yeah,
us, you know what I mean? But now the internet age and Google and AI and all these things, we find
right.
out that, plenty of people had the same mindset. It's one mind,
Yeah.
right? It's one God, one
Yeah,
Father,
we
one
all one
creator,
universal.
right?
Thank you. Let's be all the way real. One universal
Yeah.
God. I see what you was about to say something. Go ahead,
Yeah, I was
brother.
gonna say, but a lot of the new age turfing style is from flexing. Like just to be
A lot of the new,
the new
yeah, especially when it comes to the breaks.
yeah
I understand
on the
that part for
cut.
sure.
I mean, that's understandable because remember what's televised, what's being promoted. So,
Yeah,
that feud is still going on with Brooker because, Ghost, BSV, Poba, all of them, they put in a lot of work on the streets and on TV because a lot of them were going on like the music videos with Wayne Wonder, Sean Paul. You can see him in all those videos like Get Busy. You seen Reg doing the street sweeper and I think the Get Busy video.
Yeah,
Um, um, you see Ghost in them in the Bounce Along Wayne Wonder video.
right.
All the reggae artists, the Shaggy video. You know what I mean? Shaggy and Olivia. Man, you see what's his name? Mark Marvelous doing a street sweeper in who video is this? I forget, man. I forget all the videos, but I could pull them all up and show them. That's what I was trying to do in my dance story. Just play all the videos where it was turning points in the dance culture and where people were inspired by and who was who, you know.
yeah,
But yeah, that's the OGs, my OGs like Conqueror, Ghost, and then Reg at the same time. So that's hard because Reg and Reem and them was pushing a culture of flex and Ghost and Poba and them was pushing a culture of Brook up. But both of them at the same time were like my forefathers, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And they would fight over that. You know what I mean? And I got in the middle of that and the people that I was raising up got in the middle of that. So it was good and bad at the same time. You know what I mean? It
Well,
was
let's
good
talk about
because
let's talk about this because I want to know. This is a question that I was like, let you spill some more. I'm gonna hold off on it. Tell me and tell the people, since we're talking about the origins, what is the clear difference between Bruck up and flexing? Tell me what I'm looking at, how to be like, that's a flexor. What am I looking at when they say that's
right.
Bruck up? Because you said y'all feuded. So tell us, what are we looking at? What's one? What's one?
So and this is my expert 20 plus years opinion. You can call it opinion, but a lot of people gonna hold it as fact. Bruck up is what we have in Brooker is how I would set it apart is we use animal styles and how we look at things like you'll see like the ape walk, the gorilla walk, and things like that. We wouldn't use that in flexing. You know what I'm saying? Mimicking like birds and things like that. So I would say I love the Bible. Y'all know me, Storm the dancing pastor. So I'm gonna talk from that. I'm gonna talk from that place.
Yeah,
So you got the Old Testament and the New Testament in the Bible. And I'm not saying Brook Up is old, but this is how people identify the Bible. Because it's really, if you go to the original languages, it's the first covenant and then the renewed covenant. So we can look at Flexing and Brook Up the same way. You know what I'm saying?
Talk to me now. Okay.
So
Okay.
and Brook Up. But the first covenant is still so powerful. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't have the renewed covenant without the first covenant. You know what I'm saying? You don't have the new without the old. You know what I mean? Because the new, I believe that is the foundation. Right now, something newer is coming out, like new age, like spirituality. That's what we're dealing with the Old Testament, New Testament. We dealing with spirituality now, and that's where you have people trying to create the flex manual and things like that. But that spirituality, it makes it harder. It makes it easier for the new age because it's people that were like they came up in the digital age. So is the shoulder pop, the animalistic movements, character, but the character is the part that went on in the transition from Brook Up to Flex. We kept the character, like what kind of look do I want to have? Flexing, we really focus on being fresh. You can't be a flexer without being fresh. That's my opinion. A lot of OGs would agree with me. A lot of people are not doing flex right. You know what I mean? You can't be wearing some sweats and dressing down, even if you go into a battle. Yeah, you gotta have the threads on. You can't just
Yeah.
be
Oh,
comfortable in the battle. One of the big things I did as a flexer is I would buy brand new shoes for my battle and I would give it to a audience member right after my battle, so they would
that's
still be
crazy.
crispy and fresh, but it would. So I got my name up like that a lot. You know what I mean? Because I would do a lot of stuff like that. So, flexing is like you really the superhero.
that's me.
You can be the superhero, but it was like everybody's still learning how their body moves. So I would say we have more of the body movement. Flexing was more of the tricks and stuff like that. And then, a lot of the OGs, they kept the body movement. They were still doing Brook
Body
Up.
roll.
Yes, so they called it flexing because they was in that. But BSV, they stay with the origin. Like you see Islam, you'll see Judaism, things like that. They keep the Old Testament, the first covenant, and a lot of people reject the renewed covenant. So that's the difference. Like this is what's the original. We stay with that. That's what Brook Up says, and flexing say this is a new. This was what we were supposed to turn into. We were supposed to evolve into this. You know what I mean? So that's the difference between Brook Up and flexing. And Brook Up, we wouldn't necessarily have like hat tricks, and we wouldn't do this with our hands
You
like
wouldn't be
connected and tutting. You know what I'm saying? We would just have body movement and things like that. And I'm not saying that flexing don't have body movement because that's an argument too. Flexing does have body movement because we started with Brook Up first. You know what I mean? We just knew we wanted to battle and win in a certain way, so we would do anything to win on that side. But as far as Brook Up, we cared more about how our body movement was, so we focused more on body movement, and that's how we used to that's why when you see Brook Up dancers battle people who claim flex, we will win a lot because the body movement. You know what I mean? If people tricks are not right, their illusions are not right, we have that with our
you got
bodies.
the
So
natural
I
body
got the
movement
best.
stuff.
Yeah, I got the best of all worlds. You know what I mean? And it was hard for me because I was ahead of the game in a lot and people wouldn't understand it. And that's why the world accepted me. Like if I would lose a battle in person because of the politics and the controversy and people not understanding what the style, I will always win on YouTube. When it go to the world, I will always win because dance is dance. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Dance is gonna outbeat tricks any day. And I'm not saying flexing is all about tricks, but it
I
was a
swear, dude. You and Seuss, you and Seuss have probably so much similar mirror energies. And it's funny because the story you was
That's
telling
my
right now,
brother.
right?
Yeah, that's my
Hey, if
dog.
you replace the word brucka with turf dance, now you understand the turf dance story. It's literally the
Wow,
same story, with a different title. So, am I lying? The exact same thing
that's
you
crazy.
describing is the OG, what they call old school turfing. They just say
Yeah,
that, right? Middle school turfing. It's literally the same exact argument. That's why I'm laughing and smiling. Because it's like, bro, this is happening hundreds of miles away on the West Coast. The same story. I named the OG, bro. I could go almost mirrors, bro. And that's wild to me.
that's
Original
crazy.
turf, look at it. It's about body movement, body control, being on beat, making the hard moves look easy and the easy moves look hard, being smooth
Yeah,
as like it
Storytelling.
was on some other. What happened? Hybrids, and I'm one of the original hybrids. I'm like you. I started looking
yeah,
at things and bringing it, and so we start bringing in others. What happened is people see the icing on the cake. They forget the
uh-huh.
cake has foundation, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh, this is good, and Renee can fucking do the do because Renee is bam, bam, bam. I'm doing the stuff that we are known for to be funky, smooth, that people like, that attractive. And what happened is, I think newer generations, they see the flair. They want to win battles. They want to get popular, and they jump to the flair. And they's
there
like,
it is.
I just want to win a battle. So they,
You're
bam, bam, bam.
explaining the same
That's why
thing.
bone breaks came to so popular because when they didn't understand the first bone breakers and turf dancing, they could turf and do other shit. Like Scoot made that a lot of popular. Scoot was a go by. Scoot could do other things. Scoot, that's just
Yeah,
icing on the cake. That ain't Scoot's what he is. You know what I mean? But you see
right,
that, it's
right.
like, wow, people scream, let me just do that. And I think the story is, it's crazy
Yeah,
that stories are so
Scoop,
simple, right?
Scoop is one of the
Sus, you're
ones.
not part of that generation.
Yeah,
You describe it because Sus, you're that age. You were right in the middle of that shit.
right. So I remember Scoop bringing. He had DVDs of y'all in New York, and
yeah,
he'd tell us about it. And he was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And we'd see it, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, they going." But then the GoBots, they were able. The GoBots are like the beginning of the hybrid of the new generation. So with the touch
Generation.
and the bone breaks with the turfing, but they turfing was so smooth still that they knew how to do the original dancing. And
right.
we got to a point where we started to age out, and the GoBots is a group that Dav created with all youngsters.
Yeah.
So once
So
we
when we were in the Animaniacs, how old were the go by, Sus? They were like
man,
how? Like
they
9,
started off
10.
at like 12, 13.
Some of them was
Yeah,
what, they were
Lil Ant
12,
was
Lil
like
Mar was
13.
9, I think. You
Yeah.
know, so
Lil Mar was like 9, 10. Or 9, I think him and Lil Ant the
or
same.
Future is Lil Mar. That's the Future.
Yeah,
That's what we talking about.
Future
Yeah.
was Lil Mar.
my little brother Relic. He the youngest Battlefest winner ever. He was 8 years old when he won against Pavement. That was Battlefest 3.
Oh man, when it first started.
Yeah, they
So,
had Battlefest like
who do you
50
think? Who
something.
would you say brought in the for your style? Like our style has. Who brought in the extras and flexing? Who brought in the bone? Who brought the bone breaks in? And who brought y'all call it connects, right? But for
Yeah,
us, it's like, oh, y'all just cutting continuously. Some people we'll break it up. We'll do this, but
yeah.
it's the same thing. But who brought that in for y'all? Like the bone breaking in and the cutting into to where that's flexing.
So bone breaking. One of the OGs of bone breaking is uh is Nugget. OG Nugget. You know what I mean? I think he called it, huh? Yeah, Ringmaster Nugget. And oh, my fault. You get one of the boys to open it. My fault.
Yo, is that YG Sport?
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to her, bro. She's solid. What's up?
Show us
Tell her
some
we
love.
waving.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell her.
Yeah,
Wait, I'm gonna just run. I'm gonna just run to the door real quick. It's gonna take me 2 seconds. Hold on.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But about talking about Ringmaster Nugget. I think some of them called it clicking, but it was bone breaking, and a lot of people was doing. We got Ringmaster Nugget, and I'm not saying anybody's on his level, but he started a lot of the things within the flex culture and broke up culture. Another person I know is Slim. I know people from UFB that was bone breaking and stuff like that, but Nugget is a big staple and an OG of the flexing culture and the bone break culture. So that's who the one and that is. As far as connecting, Corey, Ringmaster Corey, you know what I mean? He was doing the connecting and the tutting and stuff like that. And another honorable mention is Collateral Damage, who was Wayne. He would bring in like different styles. That's where you seen the Tutton elements and stuff like that. But Ringmaster Corey is like the OG, and then Nug is the OG of bone break. And what other part of the style you was talking about?
So wait, I said I said the bone breaking, the tutting, but I also wanted to add because I just remember what you talking about. It's like y'all do hat tricks. So who is it?
Yes. So
He's heavy
Ringmasters
on hat tricks.
Ringmasters really it was main event back then. It was called main event back then, but when they got on TV they name changed to Ringmasters. But it was Spider was a big OG Spider. He was a big you said what? Nah, I was gonna say, he was a big figure in the flexing culture, but they said what up, Queen? Miss Storm over here. She
Oh,
in
what's
here,
that?
the queen, the TikTok queen, you know what I mean? TikTok queen. And she was with me in all of that. So she broke up and flexed too. So she definitely represent the ladies, and we don't got a lot of women representation. We didn't have we had a lot back then, but the transition into flex into the commercial world, a lot of the ladies didn't make it into the transition. But shout out to Deidre. She doing her thing out there. You know what I
Right.
mean? Pumpkin with the head connects.
Yeah.
We got a lot of Susie, Kit Kat, a lot of people. She came out to Cali with us. We all came out to Cali that one time that we came together. So,
Yeah, that's the
yeah,
homie.
man.
Yeah, now that's big though. So who would you say? What was your first battle?
My
Yeah.
first battle. What you mean, like on TV, televised, that
You
went
mean
on YouTube?
unofficial, like so first I'm
Unofficial?
confident enough to battle somebody. I'm confident enough to battle him first battle.
That's a good question. I would say my first official battle. So this is how I got my floor style. So I'm known as the king of floor glides. I got the medal for it from the Dream Ring. I battled somebody else. I battled Slick and floor glides. I came up with the style called the magic carpet. So when you see me dancing, I'm doing my floor style. It's called the magic carpet. A lot of people call it ground zero. A lot of people call it get low. Reem called it get low, and Reem like is my OG in a sense. Because Reem and Reg at the same time, I met them at the same time. At the same time, I met Ghost. You know what I mean? So that's why I got that Get Low award and stuff like that. But I came up with a style called the Magic Carpet because Razor, who was originally from Collateral Damage, and he started being with BSV, and I think to get uh to get my stamp and my name in the dance culture, they had Razor battle me all the time, and he would beat me every time. He would fix me every time. And
So
and how he beat me, I created the style, or even innovated the style that he would used to beat me with all the time. Like he would just glide across the floor all day long,
wait, how many
and
times did you battle? How many times did they make you battle this person?
Yeah, pack.
How many times?
a bunch of times. But a bunch of times, probably like three times. Like I would go back into the lab, and they would have him battle me each time.
I want to stop.
I think
I got to stop you right there because he tried to be boosty. So what he, because it was a cat that was on the Animaniacs. We both was trying out at the same time.
yeah.
They must have made me battle blood like 30 times, dog. And but they
Yeah, it'd be like
they
that.
did it because they
It'd be like that.
thought it was funny though. And then only would I have to battle him like 30 times. I got to battle everybody on the team like 5-6 times.
Everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it was for me. That's how I got ready for King of the
But
Streets
Seuss
too. I
went through
battled
the worst
the whole
gauntlet
team.
I've ever seen. Seuss went through the worst trial I've ever seen in my life. Like I ain't gonna lie, but he came out lashing everyone, lashing. He
I
was
started
so
lashing
bad.
everybody.
He
But
started
that's
lashing.
what make us legendary though.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at
But yeah, so I came up with after the third time he beat me, I was like, nah, I gotta come up with something that nobody's doing. So the way I hit the floor, that's why it's so different. I came up with a floor style to beat him, and I actually got to beat him. So he beat me a lot behind the scenes, but I actually got to beat him on one of the loud events, and I battled him. You know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
can look it up. It's Storm versus Razor on YouTube, and I got the trophy sitting on my entertainment center. So yeah, man, I got to get a lot of people back that beat me behind the scenes. I got to beat them in public in the commercial world. It's amazing.
Oh, that's a dope story.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sis.
Is it anybody that you haven't battled that you want to battle?
Anybody I haven't battled that I want to battle.
I mean, that could be
I
flexing,
think
it could be ruck up, it could be flexing or popping.
so. So it was a battle that was supposed to happen me versus Crow, right? I was supposed to battle Crow. More recently, I think like last year I was supposed to battle Crow, and here's the thing, like we did King of the Streets. I think we did King of the Streets, and I battled Crow in a round. Like you don't battle Crow in like second or third round because of Crow energy. You're not getting past. He got to be the first person that you battle. So I think I would like a 1-on-1 with Crow.
Mhm.
So that's one of the people I want to battle. From that side who is also a hybrid. And then from my culture, I don't know. Did I speak about anybody battling anybody from our culture? Broke up flexing on anybody. I also was supposed to battle from Poppin. I was supposed to battle Swan bro. I did class from him and everything. Yeah, Slim Boogie from Poppin. So me
Slam
me and my
Buggy.
wife are going to battle him and his wife.
Ooh,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
dope.
so yeah,
But you
so
know,
so
hey,
I
I would love to
huh?
see you. You know, one battle that would be good. I pay for it, bro. So I'm starting shit right now on this podcast. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'd love to see you in slow mo, bro. Slow motion from
Slow mo.
slow motion from our side.
That
Slow
is
motion and
good.
turn dance. I love to see
All
you.
right,
You,
yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm with that.
I love to see that. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. That shit, y'all.
Hey,
It would just
hey,
look aesthetically. I'm talking about from a fan. I
yeah, yeah,
pleasing
yeah, yeah.
you versus slow mo. That'd be fire.
That would.
Like, trust
Y'all,
me.
y'all, y'all saw the battle with y'all was there at the most recent battle. I battled Scorp
Yeah, we about
at
to.
the event. And then what's his name? What's the other guy I battled when I was wearing a red trench coat and I brought the family out? We performed
Prodigy,
that
you
day and
know,
everything.
Bro, that battle, I love that
Bro,
battle.
yeah,
Bro,
bro.
because Ro
I
got body movement, bro. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, let's talk about that. Wait, how do you feel? Honestly, bro, because I'm gonna put the footage in the middle of the clip. Okay? How do you
yo,
feel? You feel you won that? Do you feel you got that?
I do feel I won that battle. Because of the way I come at battle and the way we judge battles from where
Yeah,
I'm from.
right.
But I can see the controversy where people would say otherwise. But I feel like I battled because remember I said the number one thing, being a flexer, is
Yeah,
being fresh. You know what I mean?
right.
So you gotta be fresh and have the moves. Your music is a punchline. Your how you dress is a punchline, and how you dance is punchlines, and there's punchlines inside of that. So going off of that point system. You know what I mean? So when people judge a battle and say somebody win, what is your judging criteria? When people don't have
I,
a judging criteria, they just gonna pick who they like more in the battle. So I think I had more experience in battling and I think I hit all those marks. If somebody had a judging criteria, they'd be like, oh yeah, Storm won. You know what I mean? And of course a lot of people would pick me because of being their favorite, and a lot of people would pick him for being their favorite. So that's all up to the people. That's why I don't want any dancer to ever get discouraged if they lose a battle. You know what I mean? And I don't want dancers to have a big head if they won a battle. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times it's gonna be off of opinion, who people like more at the time. You know what I mean? And I have these methods of how to win a battle no matter what. You know what I'm
you
saying?
know what? I'm gonna say this. You overall, when you talk about it like that, overall, because you come with characters to your style. You know what I think really fucked him up was the song choice. I
Yeah,
think I think people don't really pay also attention to you're dancing for the crowd and not for yourself. So everything you
yeah,
say, I agree wholeheartedly with. On top of the songs you choose, if you choose an R&B song, you
yeah,
better be
yeah,
it better not be your first goddamn song, and you
yeah.
better have a special something
You
to do to
know?
that shit. Literally, bro. You want to choose, and sometimes people they get too extra creative. I say, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? People like, oh, I'm gonna dance. I wanna fly, I wanna bird, I wanna fly away. Great, choose
yeah,
that. You better have something to do it to like you said, punchlines and make the audience feel that. I think a lot of
right.
people messed up. A lot of turf dancers they mess up because what they do is sometimes like they'll want to throw in the bruck up music or they'll throw in a flex tune. Excuse me, I ain't bruck up
Yeah,
music, but over here you got girls and shit, they want to hear shit that's rapping, right? So
yeah,
you told them, you going, and the crowd over here is just like,
That's real.
because people don't understand it. Or you can think you so raw, I'm gonna put on. I'm gonna put on Michael Jackson. Like perfect example, you know dancing to Dirty Diana. That I know
Yeah,
when I watch you that you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
You didn't freestyle to that goddamn. You what I mean in freestyle is you know what you're doing as in you know how your body connects. So you know you can put
right,
on Diana. You have a character. You put the coat over
right.
you.
Yeah,
See, it could work like that. Not just the
that
music
feel, yeah,
shit. So yeah, the overall way, I think Rogue, I think Prodigy chose better songs. It'd have been better. But
yeah,
y'all battle still was fire. My
yeah,
question on
man.
that
I
is,
got to go back and watch it again.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
it's nice, bro. I think like Rogue said the same thing out there about like his music, but Rogue and you have, I knew that was gonna be fire because the body was. Let me ask you this though: who is your favorite? My culture. Who's your favorite?
Oh, snap. Dang. Dang. I got a lot of favorites. Dang, man. I don't know. I remember Retro. I used to love Retro. Shout out to Retro. I used to love him. Let me see. School, my man School. I love him, his character all around. And who's this young boy? He's really not I be forgetting his name. The young boy, he always on one toe. He battled that day. He
Jimmy,
battled
Zimmy.
yeah,
Come on.
I like him a lot.
or Jimmy goes crazy.
Definitely my man Zeus. Definitely. Definitely.
Right on.
Like I love
Zimmy.
his vibe,
Those
his
would
character,
be a those
everything that
would
he
be a
is.
monster.
Everything that he is. And of course, Crow, because he's a hybrid. So, those are
Yeah,
my people. Oh my gosh, hold up. I dummy. I dummy
dummy.
remind me of Prince, to be honest. And I love Prince as an artist. Like, so him as an artist, I'm like, yo,
You
he
know
is
who
so
IWOG
fresh,
is? You
bro.
know who
He's
IWOG
so
is?
fresh. Yeah.
You know who IWOG is?
Who? You?
You look at that. Look in the middle.
Yeah, that's my little bro. He was my first dance student.
Hey, Seuss is
Yo.
a creator. Seuss he's the original acrobatic turfer. Before Nice Name started turf dancing, he's been turfing. He's from the West, right?
Yeah.
He was acro dunking at the Warriors games and not just
Yeah.
Warriors. I'm talking about all NBA acro dunking. So when we brought him to the team, he was like flipping and doing other things, and his body could do so much crazy shit. He ushered in that acrobatic turfing. So anybody you want to
Fire.
see pools or all that, it all came from him. Literally. That's why IWs and some you look down, you look back at Suits old footage, they all have started top of those powerful movements with flips and undergoes.
Snap.
Like I can't do. I've been a big dude all my life, bro. I gotta have body control. I'm on these, you
Yeah,
know.
hey,
Yeah.
it used to be hella funny though, cause Renee, we'd be in practice, and Renee would be like, "Hey, bro, try to do this," and I'm like, "What, like this?" And I'm like, "Damn, dog, all right, try it." You know what I mean? I would get it easy,
Easy.
That's fire.
especially when my turfing started getting better. I had to find my style, right? Because I used to dance hella fast, and they like, "Bro, you got to."
Yeah.
Right. So when I finally got into a groove, I'm learning from everybody on the Animaniacs, I'm learning from, especially.
Yeah.
But when I finally got in my own groove and my snap, my storytelling became way better. Where my mind would go with turfing, my body was able to do it. So I was able to
Hey.
you know what I mean? Just like you was talking about getting to know your body and seeing
Yeah.
how you start off the origin story and then how it expands. For me, I started Corey and I used to do this all the time. We create characters, right? So
Yeah.
depending on how I feel, I might be circus dummy. That's where that's
Yeah.
where dummy got his name from. So I was
You
circus,
might be El Militante.
yeah,
El
I'd
Militante.
be circus
That's my favorite.
or I'm militante. And when I'm militante, like I
Correct.
have my trench coat on and I come out like snappy, right?
That's
And
fire.
I based that character off of Bison from Street Fighter.
Oh
Like
yeah.
he was just so militant, like, and he get to it.
And you come with the green
The
coat and be
great
standing
yeah.
like, I'm like, oh, he's get in so much.
Like, yeah, man.
Look, we think a lot of the similar
Yeah,
ways,
you,
man.
bro.
That's fire.
That's what. So Renee said this earlier. He said he would have loved to see me and you go against each other in our prime.
I said this
Yeah.
off camera.
That'd have been
Yeah, I
hard.
said that off camera
Y-
for sure.
that militant look and that M Bison look, um, when I battled Soup at Battle Fest 9, I believe. I had that military jacket on, that green jacket when I had no shirt underneath. that was the same. That was the same kind of
But
vibes.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
So now we talk
yep.
about battles. Now we can get into the mess, right? Because Sue say I be messy. So we getting into the mess now, bro. We got 45. We got like 15. So you know, I said I ain't gonna hold you for the whole, you know, past that, bro. So
Nah,
now
that's
we got to
lit,
talk
man.
about
I
that.
had a ball.
Oh, I gotta go to this one. Okay, y'all came over, right? Let's give a shout out to Jarrell, shout out to Levant and Elisa.
Yeah,
Man, you can
shout
get
out to
wet,
the
bro.
friend.
But we put on the first Oakland versus Brooklyn battle ever. You know, we was on the radio out here on 106 KML promoting it. So we all came
I
to the
remember.
Oakland Coliseum. We had a dance battle. The only one. It ain't been another dance battle at the Oakland Coliseum yet. I'm just
Yeah,
giving some context to this for the audience. Brought the
yeah,
real
yeah,
brought Brooklyn out. Reem met all y'all for the first time. I think it was like that was a long ass time ago. It was like 2008 or 9. Shit.
yeah.
Something like that. You
See,
know,
I thought it was
what,
2016.
no. You know what? I could. You know how I know you don't know because you had 4 kids when I first met you.
Nice.
Wow.
I go by the kid count. Yeah, 4.
Yeah, and that
So,
was still a lot back then.
so you battled Rated R, right? How did
Yeah.
you? First of all, give me your opinion on your battle, and then on the battles. Like, did you think y'all really? Do you think it was fair and just, or do you think nah, this person really won? But let's talk about you and Rated R first.
It's it's really the way we battle, like the mindset, right? Like just like I was talking about with the battle with Rogue. So I think if we knew the judging criteria, if we all went by that, now we could properly all the dancers from each side can properly be judged correctly if it was a point system like they, because I think it will be more of a fair chance instead of a lot of biases if we go off a point system.
Right.
So for me, I came with the look. I had the contact lenses. I had the wolf
You got
eye
focus. You
contact
got the
lenses.
peacoat, the love. You.
And I had I think I was wearing the gray and black uptowns or flaves, right? So yeah, for that battle, me versus Rated R, I feel like it could have went both ways for real. Like
Yeah, that's real.
I had the body movement, the flexibility. You know what I mean? It depends on what the audience wanted to see. But I feel like I did my thing that day. I wanted to show when I go to a place the first time, I just want to represent the style and the culture,
Yeah.
from where I'm from. So I showed my moves. I showed a little bit of the magic carpet. I did some mean glides. I did crazy
But
body movement. That's how
you
I
had the
got the
crowd
name
going.
He
Y'all
did.
had the
a
crowd
mass
going.
up movement. Yeah,
Yeah.
good look.
Yeah.
And that nigga, that
So I feel like
that was
I was
funny.
more I had a more different look than him. He had a style more towards a popping. So
Yeah.
I would say I won by a little bit. If anything,
You
and
were you
you
were the
know I
more
think that
well-rounded dancer. That's what you basically saying. Like, and
yeah.
visually, yeah, I get it. Yeah.
But a lot of people gonna pick him because I'm in popping world. You know what I'm saying? I'm in popping world. You know what I mean? Even though it was turfers, the people who were judging were mainly poppers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when
That
they
was an
see him
uncle.
when they
Yeah.
see him hitting in that way, they'll be like, "Oh, nah, like he doing his thing." So it was hard for me at those times because I was brand new. But when you look at it, if anything goes on YouTube, you'll see the world like, "Nah, that guy right there." You know what I mean? That's how I got most of my fans. That's why I'm so viral. My family so viral is because we was gaining that credibility behind the scenes. Where we may not have been being picked right then and there. You know what I mean? So it worked for us. It worked for us.
boy, D Dot was shooting me in front of Hammer. Nigga, I was hella mad.
Oh man.
I
He
was hella,
failed. I think Sue's.
it was the
I can't
ball.
listen to that 50 songs. I hate that 50 Cent song now.
I can't listen to it.
Get up! I cannot listen to that shit
I
without getting
hate that
mad,
song
bro.
now.
I think
Hey,
because you failed.
I
But
think it's
also I
because I
think D
failed
Dollars.
too. But then also to make it matters worse, remember we had practice after that. That nigga Corn turned it on and chewed me again. God, this got positive.
Yo,
I was already feeling
Yeah.
hella bad. That nigga turned it on and chewed me again. He
what
hella
I
funny.
love about it is that any win, lose, or draw, we keep our legendary status. We keep our OG status because of who we are, what we do behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
we can do it for the love of the dance and the love of the culture. And I think that's like super important. I feel like that's what new generation is not building now. They're not building enough behind the scenes. They're not building enough in the lab as far as connecting with the culture and things like that. And I would love to see more of that.
That's real.
So how do you think the hands are? How do you think in terms of Bruck Up and flexing? Like, how do you see it? What do you see it going in the future? Like, do you think your style's in good hands right now, or some of the young bulls keeping the Bruck Up alive or pushing it out there and things going on? Besides you and your family, of course, we're gonna talk about that for the last couple minutes. But
So for Bruckup, the young ones, I'm gonna talk about, bro. A lot of people probably be mad at me for saying it, but this guy, the troll, the ultimate troll who he messing with everybody is like Static Shock. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he keep everybody on their toes and on their game. So even though like and he put in the work, he put in the science, he's battling the people, you know what I mean? So he the young boy who is coming up. Somebody let me see who else. To be honest, I don't even be tapped into the culture like that, to be honest. Like as far as Brookup and all that's concerned, like I came to Cali to be Hollywood. I ain't gonna lie
you
to
out here
you.
doing your
100%.
thing, bro.
I came to Hollywood to change all that, like to be like mama, I made it out the hood. But I would love to connect back with the culture and even create the culture out here. So that's the plan and the aim, because there's not a lot of Brookup dancers out here in Hollywood and Cali. But I wouldn't even count my man CJ Ray as Bruckup, but he's a flexer. He's a young flexer holding it down out here in California. So CJ Ray, who else? Man, I don't even like, I'm not even tapped in. All I know is my brother Ghost, you know, my OG Ghost, you know, he like that's the one I know holding down. He's holding down on all areas, all platforms, all areas. He's putting in the work. So he's one of the OGs still working, and we got this movie coming out soon called Sun. So it's gonna be the first time dancers are being, you know, presented a movie in this way, and we've been winning awards, best actor and all that, all over the world, to be honest.
That's
That's
crazy.
gonna be big for all the dance cultures, turfing, flexing, bruck up, you know.
What you say the name
So
of it
yeah,
is,
it's called Sun.
son?
And you can check it out on IMDb, check it out on Letterbox, you know, put in my name on
Is it out
Letterbox.
now? Is it already out?
Is out in other countries. You know, we still doing film festivals and all that, but I think this month it's supposed to be, we supposed to be doing the official New York premiere. So
Okay. All right.
It's
Let me let me get a slow
SON?
clap.
yeah, man, I appreciate that. It's been a long time coming, man. We've been working on it for years, and you know, we just wanted to be perfect. The theater release, so it's gonna be released in the theaters. It's gonna be released, you know, on the streaming platforms. It's gonna be released everywhere. So it's a powerful movie, powerful message, you know. And it's not like, think about it, getting best actor amongst the actors all around the world, great actors all around the world. Is like, all right, so they know the acting in this movie is real. It's not like no cheesy dance
Right.
movie. It's really not about, it's about dance, but it's about art. It's about,
Yeah, it's not you got served. That's what you're trying to
yeah,
say.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's an action thriller, it's a horror film. You know what I mean? So it's amazing.
So is it spelled SON or SUN?
SUN.
Okay.
That's you in like son.
Yeah.
All right, bro. We can't leave you, bro, without at least while talking about you are out here in Hollywood and what brought you out here in a Storm family and your Byro family. This is my favorite part,
Yeah,
y'all,
for real.
because it's the black family. Tell them how many kids you got, what's going on, what is the Storm family, where is wifey? Let's talk about all that.
Hey, I appreciate that. So y'all know me, Storm, Massive Movement, King of Floor Glides, you know what I'm saying? The Dancing Pastor, you know what I mean? Yeah, we got a church out here, just opened up on 20th Street West out here. So, you know, if you're in the LA area, check us out. But shout out to my queen. She started TikTok about three years ago and went viral. She got almost a million followers on TikTok. On
So it was
Insta-
wifey that popped it up.
I mean, yeah, for the most part. I was the first to have a TikTok, but I knew that the dance world would cater to her style more. You know what I mean? Just like we talked about earlier with the understanding, because when I met my wife, she was a hip hop dancer and a choreographer. You know, she was opening up for Alicia Keys. You know,
That's
she
why
had an
she's so
awesome.
raw. Your wife is raw,
Yeah.
man. Your
Yeah.
wife is raw. Yeah,
Yeah. So
makes sense.
she really got the best of all worlds. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I got the best of two worlds. You know, I didn't even come from hip hop, but we brought our styles together, and now we have the number one dance family in the world. You know what I mean? So they got the battle element, rock up, flexing, hip hop. You know what I mean? My wife do salsa merengue. We do all styles, African. We do all the styles in this house. So yeah, I have 12 children, 7 boys, 5 girls. Like I said, number one dance family in the world. We coined as that. 55,000 followers on Instagram, verified on Instagram. My wife, yeah, man, she doing it. And then on YouTube, we got about 360,000 subscribers on YouTube. So we're doing it big on social media platforms and stuff like that. And we doing the Juneteenth performance this Sunday on Father's Day out here in Lancaster, California. So yeah,
happy
man.
birthday too. It's also Sue's birthday, and happy Father's Day.
Hey, happy birthday,
It's
bro.
lit.
Hey, only
Well, but
21.
see my
It's it's lit.
but
It's
Joe,
lit.
bro, hey, you know what though? Hey, I'm so glad you came, bro, to bless the podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks for
Man,
having me.
your story is so
It
inspirational,
is,
bro.
bro.
Like I said, you need to write a book. Father,
Man,
everybody, man, like your family, what you doing, black excellence as a father, as a man of God, bro. Like everything you do is very inspirational. Even you,
I
bro. That's
appreciate you.
talking about the show. I can't even troll you. I'm one of the biggest trolls online. I love to program people. I was trying to troll him. He always will send a good message. It's always something to do with God. I can't even get under his skin. You know,
Yeah,
And thank you for coming on here and us the history of it. Like none of us really
yeah,
knows that history that you gave us. So
yeah.
especially everybody that's in the Bay Area, like this is the first time, the first time that they hearing it like that. So
yeah,
yeah, man.
Yeah, you just literally told the story because as it's like he's right as a turf dancers, like, we've never. It's the same thing. Like if we don't talk and speak about our culture and our history, that's why we start making videos. Nobody
yeah,
knows aha moments. So now I get to know who I know who Reg is. I know who Cocker is. I know what I'm
yeah,
saying. Like that shit is it's a beautiful story and it needed to get shared. I hope we can get more and more people from the Brooklyn place from wherever it may be.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
and
man.
I
Sus, can you give us out some with some last words, bro, some blessings, or the pastor, you can back right after him, give us some blessings.
Fact.
the beauty of it, like being able to be used by God in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah,
For you to be used as a pastor, for you to be used as a husband, as a father, as a dancer, as a representative of the culture, all of that. It was really cool to hear your story. Me and you talk offline, like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And
man.
catch up with each other. So it's good to be able to have this open dialogue on
Yeah,
here because we start talking about God and metaphors and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? So it's good to have
yeah,
all
yeah.
of these different conversations come full circle. So thank you for coming on, Doc.
Man, thanks for having me. And blessings to y'all, man. Shout out to Turfn once again. Shout out to Flexion. Shout out to all the dance styles because even Crumpin has some of the similar stories. You know what I mean? Even similar origins. I'm excited to hear about that. Shout out to all the dance styles and all the OGs that's putting in work. Shout out to y'all for real, man, for doing this. I'm so grateful and humbled to be doing the work that I do. Man, I would love to come link up with y'all more behind the scenes and teach this out because we're in a digital age. The world is smaller and the world is more connected.
Yeah.
It's more connected now. And I feel like, this will bless the culture. I would love to come teach the brook up, the flexing style and things like that. And keep it turfing, keep the core values, but adding elements. That's what made flexing better. That's what made Brooker better is adding elements from outside, but still keeping the core of who we are and where we from our turf. You know what I mean? And the way we express that. So definitely blessings to all of y'all. Check us out every Monday, 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. I go live in this Man of Monday service. I give the word, you know what I mean? But if you're in the LA area, if you're in the area, you can come visit us in person from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. we can talk about God, the Bible, and how we can integrate that into the dance culture and things like that, spirituality, and doing it positive. I always move with a positive energy. So many of us, we lost so many people through dance wars. People have died over this, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's important that we keep it dance and keep it positive, because this is the thing that got us off the
Right.
streets. This is the thing that put money in our pockets. This is the thing that, you know, help raise our family and keep things intact for us as a culture, as a people, you know. So we just gotta keep the movement going, and stay in the lives of the youth as we're transitioning and as the world gets more connected. You know, I think that's important to, for the youth to see us together. You know, so thank y'all for doing this. I love y'all so much.
For
Yeah,
sure,
man.
brother.
Stay blessed and encouraged in Yeshua's
Yeah, bro.
name.
Much love, bro. You know, we always gonna keep this rocking, bro. And shout out to Jesus for always, bro, going through the trenches with your boy.
Oh, man, you know what
And
it
you
is.
know, yeah, my boys always showing up, and we doing this for the, like you said, bro. It's just for the culture. And this I ain't gonna lie, bro. This is one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite
Yeah,
ones
it's
right
my.
now, bro. I was smiling the whole time.
Yo, we
I
gotta
feel like
link
I
up. We
really
gotta
just
link
learned
What's
up
some.
in
late,
person. We
bro?
gotta
What's
set
late?
something up.
All right, hold on.